You ever wonder why one business just takes off while another one that seems almost identical just fails? It's usually not about the product or even the people running it. Nope. It's about these invisible forces that are swirling around every single company every day. So let's get into it. Let's talk about what we call the business environment. And to really wrap our heads around this, I think the best way is to start with a story. Picture this. Someone, maybe like you or me, has this dream of opening the perfect little neighborhood cafe. They pour everything they have, their heart, their soul, their savings, into making it happen. So, meet our cafe owner. They thought they had it all figured out. They found the perfect spot right outside of college. They designed this super cozy atmosphere, and they even perfected their own unique coffee blend. Their business plan? Flawless. So, what went wrong? Well, you know how it goes. Reality had other ideas. Okay, so get this. It wasn't just one thing. It was like a perfect storm of problems hitting all at once, from totally different angles. First, their main customers, the students, just disappeared. Why? Exam season. A totally predictable cycle, but they just didn't see it coming. Then, bam, the government changes the tax laws and suddenly a huge chunk of their profit is gone. And just when you think it can't get any worse, a little tea stall opens up right next door and starts siphoning off the few customers they have left. Ouch. And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? The business plan was solid. It covered costs, marketing, operations, the whole shebang. So why was it completely blind to these huge business-killing problems? Well, the answer is all about what the plan wasn't looking at. The answer? It's the business environment. That's the key. This is the world that exists outside the pages of a business plan. It's all those external forces that our poor cafe owner got totally blindsided by. So let's break down what that actually means. So here's the bottom line. The business environment is basically everything that can impact your company's performance that you have absolutely no control over. Think about it like your own life, right? You can control your own choices, maybe influence your family, but you can't control the economy or what your friends think or broader social trends. Those things affect you, but you don't steer the ship. It's the exact same idea for a business. And this slide really lays it out perfectly. On the one hand, you've got your internal forces, stuff you can actually shape, your team, your company culture, your vision. But on the other hand, you have the external forces, and that's the wild stuff. Government policies, what your competition is up to, shifting customer tastes. You don't control that, you can only react to it. And see, that was our cafe owner's big mistake. They were an expert on everything inside their four walls, but had no clue what was happening outside. Okay, so right about now, this might sound a little overwhelming, right? If you can't control any of this stuff, how on earth are you supposed to prepare for it or even survive it? Well, here's the good news. You don't have to just walk in blind and hope for the best. There are actually tools for this. All right, so let's get to the good part, this solution. We're going to pop open what I like to call a strategic analysis toolkit. Think of it as a set of powerful frameworks that are literally designed to help you see and navigate this crazy, complex world outside your business. And I absolutely love this analogy. You can't control the weather, but you can learn to read the forecast. It's so true. These tools aren't magic wands. They're not going to stop the storm. But what they do is give you a really, really good weather forecast. They let you see what's coming, so you can prepare, adapt, and maybe even find an opportunity while everyone else is just running for cover. First up in our toolkit is a classic, SWOT analysis. It's such a simple but brilliant way to get organized. Basically, it forces you to look in two directions. You look inward at your strengths and weaknesses. That's the stuff you can control. And then you look outward at the opportunities and threats. That's the stuff you can't. It just gives you that full 360-degree picture of where you stand. All right, next tool, Pastel analysis. Now, if SWOT is your 360-degree view, think of Pastel as your long-range radar. It's all about scanning the distant horizon. It helps you break down that massive external world into 6 manageable chunks. Political, like those tax changes our cafe owner faced. Economic. Social, like, hey, student exam schedules. Then you've got technological, environmental, and legal. The idea is to systematically scan each of these areas so you can spot those big, game-changing shifts way before they hit you. Okay, but what about the competition? That's a huge piece of the puzzle, right? For that, we turn to something called Porter's 5 Forces. This framework is an absolute game changer for really digging in and understanding the competitive pressure in your industry. And trust me, it goes way, way deeper than just looking at the company across the street. See, what Porter figured out is that competition isn't just about your direct rivals. It's actually a battle on 5 different fronts. You've got the threat of brand new companies jumping in. You've got the power your customers have to drive your prices down. You've got the power your suppliers have to drive your costs up. And you've got the threat of some totally different product making yours irrelevant. Think about our cafe. That little tea stall wasn't just a rival. It was a perfect example of that threat of new entrance force being incredibly high. Okay, so we've got our tragic story, and now we've got our toolkit. So let's do the most important thing. Let's put it all together. Let's see how these tools could have completely changed the ending for our cafe owner, turning that disaster into a success story. Let's just play what if for a second. Imagine our cafe owner had these tools from the very beginning. Using Pestel, the political scan would have flagged those tax changes, and the social scan would have immediately highlighted the student exam schedule. That's a huge win right there. Then, with Porter's 5 forces, they would have realized that opening a cafe is, well, pretty easy. The threat of new competitors was super high, so that tea stall wouldn't have been a surprise, it would have been expected. And with all that info, their SWOT analysis would look totally different. Total reliance on students would be flashing in bright red as a major weakness. And they would have immediately started planning to act on the opportunity to attract different customers, long before the cafe was empty. So, if there is one single thing to take away from all this, what is it? It's this. A business plan is like a perfect blueprint of your own house. It's essential. But the real game, where you win or lose, is played out on the street, in the neighborhood, in the world outside. Real strategic advantage comes the moment you lift your head up from your own plans and start looking at everything else. Look, at the end of the day, this whole business environment thing, it's not something you should be afraid of. It's just something you have to understand. Because think about it. The biggest risk to any business isn't the problem you see coming. It's the one that you don't. This toolkit we've talked about, it's your telescope, it's your radar, it's your map to see what's out there. The only real question left is, are you going to use it to look?